All right, so we have Jen here. Obviously,
Hello.
I'm David March. And so we just wanted to talk a little bit more about our journey together. Um, so wanted to, I guess, first introduce Jen, data scientist,
Mhm.
and um, really strong in all things machine learning. Um, so wanted to just start off with what was it like before you started working with me, Jen?
Um, I was very overwhelmed. I kind of felt stuck in my current position and that I was just it was stagnant. I wasn't moving anywhere in the company no matter what I did. And I was kind of just afraid to cut the cord, which I haven't yet, but I was afraid to take that next step and start updating like my resume and going through this process. And that's what was really holding me back probably for a couple of years now. And then I met Dave here and he really helped me take that plunge and get into everything that I was kind of really afraid to get into because I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to rewrite my resume. I'm going to have to update all these, skills that I have and projects. And I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So that was kind of the beginning of the journey of me just being like, where do I start? I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, and sometimes just starting is really difficult. Just
Yeah,
getting that activation energy just to activate start this whole journey.
that is a
Uh,
great word for it because it's like, yeah, no, I'm too tired to go through this. That is too, because I would look at everything all at once versus, step one, step two, step three, which is what you helped me do. And that made the process completely manageable. And I honestly did not think before I met you that I would be at this point this quickly. So
I'm glad to
thank you.
hear that. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, so the system kind of helped you, the systematic process, like step by step.
Yes. And the personality assessment stuff was very helpful. Knowing where being more aware of where I spend what's more draining of my mental energy, so it helps me like prioritize tasks. Like, okay, this is, if I have a task, okay, this is something that I can do over and over and I can replenish that energy and I can keep going. But if I do a task, like a certain design task that's going to really deplete me, I know that, now I need a little time to recover. I can't keep working on these projects like this 24/7, back to back to back to back, which is what my, you know, uh
Kobe
current like
assessment.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
talk about the
Oh,
Kobe assessment. That's
yes.
really great. Really helps you to kind of understand where you're using your mental energy, what's draining, what's energizing, and um, really helps you to understand those natural instincts that you have, and you can either go with them or you can go against them.
Once I started going with them, things started going much easier. Just not just for the job application process, but in life. It's like, okay, things I'm like, okay, now I'm more self-aware of what's draining me. And now I can refocus. Okay, I'm like, okay, I'm like, is this even something important? If it's not, then I'm not going to drain my mental energy on that and focus on the important things. So
Yeah,
that was
totally.
really, really helpful.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. So what surprised you most about our work together?
Um, I don't know, but surprise.
Like, what would you like? What was something that you didn't think this would be part of the process that we what we're gonna go through, like, oh wow, but you're doing that as well. That's great. I actually really needed that kind of thing.
Okay, okay. Yeah, sorry, it's a question. Um, so it's just the way we started out, going through, like the different resources, the personality assessment, an overview of what all these different, ways we would be looking at things, just how many components there are to applying to a job. Not just it's not just, go online, submit your resume, move on to the next. Like there's a whole lot of stuff you got, preparing your resume,
Mm,
tailored to the type of industry you want to be in and the type of jobs you want. How much time and research goes into just that part alone was I wouldn't say surprising, but the time and energy I anticipated to go into that was way more than what really should go into it. So to me, that was surprising. And
yeah,
also like very helpful because again, I would not be at this point. I'd still be, searching for the right words to use in my resume versus, submitting applications right now.
yeah, yeah. And you're talking about that. Was there ever like a time where like it was like really challenging? I wanted to quit, or you just like, can this process be any harder? Anything like that?
Um, I don't know if the word quit is in my vocabulary.
Yeah, you're.
The
It really isn't. It really isn't. You're really
I just the you
fighter.
give
You're
me
a fighter.
challenge. Other things, the resume part, or it's like, why do you want to, the questions of like, why do you want to do this, or why would you want this job? It's like I
Mhm,
would get stuck on that, and that would be very challenging for me. And
mhm.
then I would be like, I don't know if I can work on this right now. Um,
Yeah,
you have to come back, or I'd be spending too much time on something, and then kind of go down a rabbit hole and be like, all right, I didn't accomplish anything. So I would get frustrated with myself, but I'd have to
yeah,
take a step back and like, I'm like, all right, what is our process? I'm going off track. I'm not following this process that we laid out. No
yeah,
wonder I feel like frustrated. And so there was a lot of, I had to basically train myself how to, go do this process with your
yeah,
help and guidance.
yeah.
So that was very, very, very helpful.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and to a certain extent, that's really what it's like, right? Because you can go in so many different directions. It's like there's like how I see it is almost like a semicircle, and like an arrow here, an arrow there, arrow here, arrow there, arrow there. But it's like really there's just one one direction. And your mind wants to go in like five or six,
Like,
uh,
yeah, times 10.
times
Like,
10. uh,
my mind is going like, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
no, it's like I don't want it to do that. I want to go like,
straight ahead.
that straight. And
Yeah.
so you definitely helped me stay on that straight ahead path.
Yeah.
Bring me back in.
That was a big piece, I feel like, a lot of
Yeah.
times. It was just like, you know, okay, do this, and what about this, and how about all these like really small details, and it's like, let's keep going forward. Let's keep making progress. Um, and so I thought that was an interesting part of it. Um, you 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 have a brilliant mind, though, I think, in the sense of being so detailed, and like you really understanding those things. So I want to give you credit for that as well.
Thank you. Yeah, it's again, that's I see everything, I process everything, but when I have to like those simpler tasks actually take me more energy, it takes more energy for me, and I need like step by step, like I need like an outline to follow. Like, okay, do this, do this. This is when you stop. Like it's like a recipe for me. Like
Mm,
what's
I like
simple
that.
for most people is like super difficult for me.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of a recipe. Yeah,
Yes, like that's really I would just write down basically things what you said was like a recipe. Like one, I need to do this, two, do this. And I'm like, okay, like I'm just following the steps. And
yeah,
that worked great.
yeah. Trust the process. Just trust the
Yeah,
process.
I put my full trust into it because my methods, no, it's too much. It was too draining for me to do it my way.
Yeah, I love to hear that, though.
Sorry.
Sometimes that's what it takes. And also with you being just like burnt out and stuff, it's like I've I felt like a lot of times it was just like mm, I wanted to make this process fun for you, and I thought that was an important thing too. Is like make it more enjoyable because it's almost like, especially when you're burnt out, it's like this is the last thing I want to do. I'm so tired of all this stuff. I I got so tired of all this stuff, and I think that a lot of it was just like making it as easy as possible, and also making it like fun. Did you feel that?
Right. Absolutely. So absolutely. So now going back to what was challenging, I came into this process completely burnt out. Like
Yeah.
so burnt out, I was barely functioning. And I'm like, how am I going to get through this? Obviously you were a huge part of that. But again, it's like, how am I gonna how am I gonna actually show up and like do my part when I'm this burnt out? So yes, what you did, making it fun, making it, easy to follow steps, making steps easy to follow, like a process to follow, to trust in, it kind of just as I was, just kind of getting less burnt out from everything,
Mhm.
everything kind of started flowing and, making sense and it's just, it didn't seem like an unachievable task, each part of the process versus when I, came into this process, everything seemed like, oh, this is too overwhelming. I don't think I can do this. Was it, well, it
Awesome.
was like, it was more like, I don't know, like if if I'm going to complete what I want to do or if I'm gonna, be able to find something or, so
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not, I don't mean that like when I met you, before I met you, like when I was trying to start this process and I was like, I need help, so that because I was, worried about how I would, take this journey if I did not have help with this. And good
Yeah.
thing I found and connected with you because I can't, yeah. Again, just repeat myself. I don't know where I'd be in this. Probably still working on my resume.
Yeah. And sometimes you could spend like 3 hours on your resume just to like cater to one position. And then it's like I didn't get anything else done for the other things on my to-do list.
Right.
And
And
so
really, yeah,
yeah, just 1 hour at a time, I think is really the key thing, right? It's just there's other things, and you have a busy life too. You're doing so many big things with Georgia Tech, great projects, and you have a busy life. So just setting that one time, that 1 hour, just to really build on your career journey, I think is really important too. Just 1 hour a day. Oh, not even a
absolutely,
day, 1 hour, like a week or so, sometimes twice a week.
absolutely. And that's super important because I really wanted, I want to make a transition and
Mhm.
I just, like I said, I just kept before my journey with you, I just kept putting it off because I'm like, there's just too much. Or I was just, getting the wrong, I would be like, I would be recruited, but it was just for things that it wasn't really something relevant to like what I was, my job skills now would be more of a relevant position maybe 15 years ago for me, not
Yeah.
something now.
Totally. I agree with you. Yeah, and that's always a challenge too. Sometimes you're getting um, the attention from recruiters, but not the right attention that you want. They're reaching out for some old position that's like it's not relevant to what your current career ambition is.
Right. It's like I could do that, but that's not really the direction I want to go in. And I kind of think about it. I'm like, no, I don't want to end up switching, jobs and then not then getting stuck in like another situation like I, have been in the past 6 years where I'm just not, just not happy. Again,
So
everyone's going to be happy what they're doing, but at least you want to try to be happy with your job,
yeah,
enjoy
well,
what
yeah, you
you do.
spend so much time at work. You want it to be enjoyable, and I mean, I think that there's a good topic here as well to talk about, in the sense of, you have like the things that you're good at in terms of skills wise, and then there's the like the culture, and that's kind of another aspect there too. Um, and so I think what we did was really honed in on what the skills were that we needed to get this position, how we can, really talk about how you've done these skills, and um, really highlight the strengths that you have, um, so that people would want to reach out to you in the right way, right? Instead of just getting all this like attention from someone that has a position, but it's not relevant. Now all your skills and such are up front. They know kind of what you're looking for, and that's going to attract the right positions for you.
Yes, that's actually the like huge, probably the most like I don't know, the biggest contribution, really, like the most significant, I guess I would say, is everything, without repeating what you just said, taking all of my skills, putting everything like that I'm looking for now up front, all the AI, ML, DL stuff, like that, being in that field. Um, how do I take what I'll, update my resume without just doing like a just brain dump of all these words, or skills, and
Yeah.
throwing it in there. I'm like, how do it's you pretty much did like combine, like took all of this mess of information and put it into how you just worded that. So put everything up front, it's organized, it's to the point, and it highlights what skills I have. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, I mean, we'll end it there.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you want to share?
It's been awesome working with you. I really appreciate it. Your personality, you're just so helpful. I mean, caring, appreciative, understanding. So, I mean, it's just been great. Like, I really, I don't know. Like, thank you. I'm so grateful, appreciative. Um,
Yeah,
I'm glad we were able to work together on this.
me too. Thank you. All right. We'll end it there.